The Carthian Empire had conquered 17 star systems in 3 cycles. Their war machines were unstoppable. Their soldiers were bioengineered for perfection. Their tactics were flawless, refined over millennia of domination. They had never encountered humans before. Commander Darren stood atop the ridge, surveying the scorched battlefield below. Smoke rose from craters where plasma artillery had torn the earth apart. The Carthian forces stretched across the valley like a metallic plague. Thousands of soldiers, hover tanks, and orbital strike coordinates locked onto his position. By every military calculation, his battalion was finished. Beside him, Reich shifted on all fours, his muscular frame coiled tight with anticipation. The young Vexari predator was barely past adolescence by his species standards, yet he stood nearly as tall as Darren when reared up. Fur the color of storm clouds rippled across his body, and his amber eyes glowed with barely contained ferocity. "Commander," Reich growled, his translator rendering the guttural sounds into human speech, "we should retreat. My people did not join this alliance to die in a human war." Darren turned to face the cub, then looked past him at the 100 other Vexari who had sworn their claws to Earth's defense. They were magnificent creatures, apex predators from a death world that made Earth look tame. Each one could tear through Carthian armor with ease, but they fought like their ancestors, with instinct, with rage, with the chaos of the hunt. "You're right," Darren said quietly. "This isn't your war." He pulled a small metal whistle from his pocket. It was a relic from Earth, something his grandfather had carried during the Third Continental War. No tactical value, no military significance, just a simple brass whistle on a chain. Reich's ears flattened. "What are you doing?" "Teaching you something about humans," Darren replied. He raised his comm. "All human units, pattern Theta, on my mark." Across the battlefield, 200 human soldiers received their orders. They didn't question. They didn't hesitate. They simply moved into position, forming a seemingly random pattern across the ruined landscape. The Carthian commander, observing from his flagship, noted the repositioning with mild interest. The humans were spreading out, making themselves easier targets. Predictable panic from an inferior species. Darren raised the whistle to his lips. "Commander." "What?" Reich began. The whistle's shrill note cut through the air. What happened next would be discussed in military academies across the galaxy for generations. The humans didn't charge. They didn't fire. They ran, but not away. They moved in synchronized chaos, each soldier sprinting to precise coordinates while laying down suppression fire, but it was their formation that mesmerized. From above, it looked like madness. From the ground, it was poetry, and the Vexari cubs, creatures of instinct and pack mentality, felt it. Ick's pupils dilated. His claws extended involuntarily. Every predatory instinct in his body screamed at him to move, to join, to hunt. Around him, his warriors growled and shifted, the whistle's echo triggering something primal in their enhanced hearing. "Do you feel it?" Darren asked, his voice calm amid the chaos. "Do you feel what they're doing?" Reich did. The humans weren't just moving, they were driving the enemy. Like wolves herding prey, like ancient hunters guiding beasts toward a cliff. The Carthian forces, confused by the erratic human movements, began consolidating their lines, tightening their formation exactly as the humans intended. "They're creating a kill zone," Reich whispered, understanding dawning in his predator's mind. "And they're leaving it open for you," Darren said. He raised the whistle again. 2 short blasts. The humans stopped firing and dove for cover, creating lanes, corridors of opportunity that led straight into the heart of the Carthian formation. Reich didn't think. His body moved before his mind could catch up. He launched himself off the ridge with a roar that shook the air itself, and behind him 100 Vexari warriors followed. They stormed down the slope like an avalanche of claws and fury, and they didn't look back. The Carthian soldiers, elite warriors who had never known defeat, found themselves facing something their training had never prepared them for: controlled chaos. The humans had broken their formation. The Vexari exploited every gap. Darren watched from above, calling adjustments on his comm with the casual tone of someone ordering coffee. "Alpha Squad, shift left. Give Reich's pack more room. Bravo, lay covering fire on Sector 7. Someone's about to get torn apart there, and I want our people clear." The battle lasted 17 minutes. When the dust settled, the Carthian forces were in full retreat, abandoning equipment and calling for orbital evacuation. Their empire's first defeat in 3 centuries had come at the hands of a species they had dismissed as primitive and a pack of predators they had deemed useful but uncontrollable. Hayek climbed back up the ridge, his fur matted with blood that wasn't his own. His chest heaved, adrenaline still coursing through his veins. He approached Darren, studying the human with new eyes. "You didn't fight," Hayek said. "You barely fired your weapon." "I didn't need to," Darren replied. "I had you, but how did you know? How did you know we would charge when you whistled?" Darren smiled and held up the small brass whistle. "On Earth, we had animals called dogs. Thousands of years ago, we learned to hunt together. We learned to communicate without words. We learned that the best warriors aren't always the strongest or the fastest. They're the ones who can turn instinct into strategy." He placed a hand on Hayek's massive shoulder. "You asked why we fight differently than any species you've encountered. It's because we learned warfare from working with predators, not against them. We don't see you as weapons, Hayek. We see you as partners." The young Vekshari was silent for a long moment. Then he did something that shocked his entire pack. He lowered his head in a gesture of respect. "Teach us," Hayek said. "Teach us to fight like this. Like a pack that thinks," Darren nodded. "That's why you're here. The Carthian Empire thinks war is about superior technology and perfect soldiers. But they've never understood the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. What's that? Different species that choose to fight as one." That night, around the campfires, human soldiers taught Vekshari warriors the old whistle signals, and Vekshari warriors taught humans the hunting songs of their homeworld. The alliance grew stronger, not despite their differences, but because of them. The Carthian Empire would attack again. They would bring more ships, more soldiers, more firepower, but they would never understand what they faced. Not humans alone, not Vekshari alone, but something the galaxy had never seen before. Species that had learned to merge instinct with intelligence, chaos with control, the howl with the whistle, and when the next battle came, the enemy would hear that whistle ring across the battlefield, and they would learn to fear what came after.